Raleigh, North Carolina, and Nashville, Tennessee are two very popular relocation destinations. Which one is right for you? I'm Allison Warnerowski with the W Real Estate Group here in Raleigh, and we get so many questions about how Raleigh and Nashville compare, so let's get right into it. Nashville is located in the central portion of Tennessee along the Cumberland River with a population of just over 700,000 in the city itself and nearly 2.1 million in its metro area. Raleigh is also located in the central portion of North Carolina and is roughly 3 hours from both the Atlantic Ocean and the Appalachian Mountains. It has a population of around 470,000 within the city and nearly 1.6 million in its metro area. Nashville has a massive footprint in comparison to Raleigh, which actually leads to it having a very low population density at 1,420 people per square mile to Raleigh's 3,148. But both of these numbers are very low compared to much of the country. The cities have a very similar environment, as both are known to be very green with an abundance of trees and some hilly terrain. But Nashville generally does have more elevation change as it's on the foothills of the Cumberland mountain range. Both are known to have more small town feelings with big city amenities, but Raleigh falls more into that category than Nashville, as Nashville is the much bigger city with a larger urban footprint to date. Overall, Raleigh was ranked the number 3 best place to live in the country, while Nashville slipped over 30 spots from last year to 61, reportedly due to its rising home values and traffic. Both cities have incredibly strong job markets right now, as Nashville currently is the hottest job market in the country, and Raleigh comes in at number 5. Raleigh and Nashville both have an incredible talent pool to pull from. Raleigh is one of the only places in the nation to have 3 top universities right in its backyard with NC State, Duke, and UNC Chapel Hill, while Nashville has Vanderbilt, Tennessee State, and Belmont. Their industries are a little bit different though, as Nashville is known for its jobs in healthcare, finance, manufacturing, education, and tourism. Raleigh, on the other hand, is also known for healthcare and has finance and educational jobs as well, but it is mostly known as a technology hub with its famous Research Triangle Park, and it's attracting companies like Apple, Google, Epic Games, and more. And the average salaries are pretty close, as Raleigh's is $74,000 while Nashville's is $70,000. So you can't really go wrong with either, but each has its own specialty. Moving on to discuss how Raleigh and Nashville compare regarding overall value. Both cities are also among the top 5 in rankings for the hottest housing markets in the US, and that ranking does not mean doom and gloom for buyers, as it indicates it's also one of the best places to buy a house given the value you receive, houses available, and more. For those in the market right now though, it may seem that way, as both markets have seen home prices rise significantly over the last year. Average home prices sit at just around $435,000 for both Raleigh and Nashville, with Nashville rising 3.3% and Raleigh rising 2.6% since last year. You do get more house for your money in Raleigh, as the average price per square foot is $230 in Raleigh and $278 in Nashville. Both cities are also known to provide properties with larger lot sizes than most, so you're more likely to get that privacy from your neighbors or a yard to play in with these cities than many others in the country. When it comes to overall cost of living, both cities are also very close to each other, as Nashville is 3% above the national average and Raleigh is 2% above. Housing is the main category that pushes both cities over the national average, as most of its other expenses like general goods and services, transportation, healthcare, and more are more affordable relative to other major US cities. Note that in general, Nashville is roughly 10 to 15% more expensive on a night out than in Raleigh, likely due to it being a popular tourism destination. Nashville is also a great place for taxes, as it's one of the best cities in the nation tax-wise. It has no state income tax compared to Raleigh's 4.75%, and has a low property tax rate at roughly 81 cents per $100 of the property value compared to Raleigh's $1.01. Not that Raleigh's numbers here are high, but Nashville's are great. However, government funds have to come from somewhere, so Nashville does have an extra tax that Raleigh does not, where it takes an extra 6% on interest and dividends gains on stocks and bonds. And Nashville's sales tax is 9.25% versus Raleigh's 7.25%, so everyday items cost a little bit more. So in general, both cities are known as very affordable in comparison to other major US cities. Now let's move into the fun categories surrounding quality of life. Starting with parks, this is an area that Raleigh absolutely excels in. Raleigh has over 12,000 acres of parkland to Nashville's 10,800, which is nearly 17% of its total land area in comparison to Nashville's 3.4%. And Raleigh has 31.6 acres of parkland per 1,000 residents compared to Nashville's 18.1, which theoretically means Raleigh's parks should be less crowded in general. With over 220 parks and 120 miles of greenways, Raleigh has parks everywhere you turn, and has the massive 5,500 plus acre Umstead Park located in the middle of the city. Nashville is pretty low on the national rankings due to the lack of funding provided, leading to potential issues with cleanliness and maintenance, as well as accessibility, meaning how close residents are to their nearest park. Despite what the numbers say though, you'll hear Nashville residents praise the parks, especially the areas outside of city limits. So take the numbers and ratings with a grain of salt and see for yourself. Raleigh also has some amazing parks outside of the numbers shown to explore. One of the most praised aspects of Raleigh, though, is that it's one of the few major cities that is close to both the mountains and the beach. You can easily do a day trip to either, so you have the best of both worlds. Nashville is close to the mountains, and like Raleigh, has plenty of freshwater lakes and rivers to explore, but it's nearly 7 hours to the closest beach. And sticking with the outdoors, both cities have incredibly similar climates. Expect to experience all 4 seasons, have relatively hot summers with high humidity, and mild winters with very little snow. The spring and fall weather is absolutely amazing. Entertainment-wise, Raleigh has plenty to keep anyone entertained, but Nashville definitely takes the prize. Nicknamed the Music City, and as a popular tourist destination, you will not be bored in Nashville. Nashville obviously has great music venues for entertainment, including the Grand Ole Opry, and has a rich history of especially country music, but it's also an amazing place for food and drink, and its nightlife is one of its bright spots as well. Raleigh has its own share of great entertainment. It's just not as plentiful as Nashville. Raleigh is definitely not a tourist destination. Big entertainment acts typically stop in Raleigh, which has a number of large entertainment venues, but Raleigh is known more for its small town feel. Its events tend to be very family friendly with a very shop local feel, and outside of its few major events, they are not insanely crowded. It also has a very under the radar food scene. It's an amazing place for beer lovers with all of its breweries, and it has some great nightlife spaces as well. But the biggest difference between Raleigh and Nashville is the scale. As while Raleigh's offerings are plenty to keep anyone entertained, you may have to seek them out, while Nashville's offerings are seemingly everywhere you look. Sports-wise, both have great options. Nashville is the bigger market and has both the NHL and the NFL in the Predators and the Titans, as well as a fun college atmosphere with Vanderbilt. Professionally, Raleigh has the NHL with the Hurricanes, who the city goes crazy for, but it's most known for having one of the country's best college sports atmospheres, with the rivalries between NC State, Duke, and UNC. So if you're a college sports lover, you can't go wrong in Raleigh. Education-wise, both Tennessee and North Carolina are typically in the top half in the country's school ratings, and each have school districts among the best ranked in their respective states, so both will provide an excellent education. Both areas do have amazing colleges and universities nearby, but Raleigh does have the advantage of having 3 top-rated universities all within 45 minutes of each other. Moving on, let's talk about safety. Raleigh is regularly among one of the safest cities in the country, as its crime rate is nearly 50% less than the national average. Nashville, on the other hand, is known to have a higher crime rate, as it has a rate of around 50% greater than the national average. Now, many people consider Nashville safe, especially for tourists, but you do need to watch where you go. Traffic and commuting is a major difference here, as while Raleigh ranked as one of the best places in the country to drive when you account for maintenance and gas costs, road quality, and safety, a recent study by Forbes just named Nashville as having the hardest commute in the country. So it beat out even Washington, D.C., New York, and Atlanta. Note for those considering Charlotte, it came in right after Nashville as the second hardest commute in the nation. But Raleigh isn't without its struggles, as while many who move here from other cities say traffic is a breeze, but many locals have seen the traffic get much worse over the years. The last category I wanted to briefly touch on is the culture. Both cities are going to have very similar vibes here, as you'll see the Southern hospitality and traditions, the roots of smaller towns, family-friendly environments, and generally conservative mindsets. However, there are some differences. Nashville is still the bigger city, has tons of tourists, and the entertainment to go along with it. So it definitely has a larger city feel, but has still maintained plenty of spots for the locals. Raleigh still has that smaller town feel and pace in comparison to Nashville, which is great for someone who prefers a more intimate environment overall. Nashville is definitely the more southern of the two cities, and while the city itself has recently begun to lean more liberal, the area overall is overwhelmingly conservative, especially in the suburbs. Raleigh is more balanced politically and has recently become more liberal overall, but its suburbs also lean conservative, although it's not to the extent of Nashville. And while both are absolutely amazing for families, Raleigh tends to be labeled as a perfect place to raise a family given its culture and the amount it caters to families. So that's a quick summary of both Raleigh and Nashville. You really can't go wrong with either city. And while both are surprisingly similar in many ways, there are a few key differences in jobs, parks, and entertainment to consider. If you are interested in the Raleigh area and need help with your move, our team specializes in relocation and we would love to help you. I'm Allison Warnerowski with the W Real Estate Group, and thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.